Welcome back to Google Cloud Next 20 On Air Extended Podcast. We had an amazing kickoff last week, and we're so happy you're back for more with this interactive digital experience. I'm Abdurrahman Jays.
Welcome back, and I'm Marine Naeem. And we got a packed program for you this week, all about productivity and collaboration, with some big announcement from G Suite. Before we dive in, make sure you are registered at g.co/cloudnext, so you have all total access to all our content from this week and last. And because we value your feedback, remember to click on the rate button and tell us how you liked each podcast.
If you missed last week's industry insight, it's easy to catch up because Google have made it all available on video on demand. While the process of recovery from the COVID will be gradual, Google is committed to helping organizations to reimagine their business as they emerge from this pandemic. This week, it's all about helping people solve for many issues we've all encountered since the COVID-19 sent us home to work. And G Suite has responded by focusing on being helpful to human. This is an incredibly difficult time, but we also believe that it's the beginning of a new approach to work in life, one that's most productive, collaborative, and impactful.
Yes, we think that working from home is the new trend. As Hilda Klun, the technology and transformation leader of PwC, experienced the immediate impact of G Suite tool when her company made a global and sudden move to remote work and life. Hilda Klun said, because of COVID-19, we moved more than 276,000 people to work from home in a very short period of time. And G Suite was critical for that transition to happen successfully.
Yeah, there was more than 20 breakout sessions this week, all about how you can be more productive and collaborative. You can see how to supercharge productivity with no-code apps, or maybe you can have a look at the G Suite accessibility features to empower inclusion. Try and have a look at also at work beyond borders, how to use G Suite and with Microsoft's and your favorite third-party applications, just to name a few. Let's get started with the keynote.
Yeah, the breakout session were amazing this week, where they announced the keynotes announced a better home for work inside G Suite. This week's solution keynote from Javier Solentro, G Suite Vice President and Global Manager, offered more on what's new in G Suite and what's to come. Watch it on-demand video on the website, and you can also read Javier Forbes' article on why cloud-based productivity tools have never made more importance. And then tell us what you think in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Let's keep the conversation going on social media. Make sure to use hashtag Google Cloud Next and also hashtag GDG Casablanca. Our community needs you to spread the word. Our next new round of content drops on August the 2nd until 10 p.m. Moroccan time. Make sure to join. So join us then or catch it recorded on our YouTube channel GDG Casablanca. So remember, hashtag Google Cloud, hashtag GDG Casablanca, and make sure to check out our YouTube channel and add it to your playlist to customize your next on-air extended experience.
Yeah. Next week we'll focus on how companies are modernizing their infrastructures. They have keynotes and they will feature Google Cloud executive leaders Brad Calder, June Yang, and Shields Shukla, I think. So come, connect with us, engage with us, discover with us at Google Cloud Next on Air, extended in Casablanca. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We have a lot to talk about in this podcast.
Yeah, stay tuned, everyone.
meaningful questions. Would that give us enough time to protect the satellites that connect us all and avoid a power grid shutdown? Questions that are becoming increasingly more urgent. Can we generate hyper-accurate maps to identify a flood zone that will help people evacuate before the rains even start? As the climate changes, what can we do to better protect our planet and everyone on it? Scientists from all over the world have come together to find answers to these questions, and others like them. Digging into their data, breaking it apart, prying insight and inspiration and progress from it, hoping to solve some of humanity's biggest problems. There is a fundamental truth in our nature. Humans are curious. It's wired into our DNA to wonder about the world, the universe, and our place in it. So we ask questions, observe the answers, and gather information. Volumes and libraries and oceans of it. And now we finally have the tools powerful enough to help make sense of it all. To ask bigger, more meaningful questions. How can we use AI to identify the resources we'll need to live on the moon? So we can build an outpost there and use it to get to Mars. Questions that help us look at problems in entirely new ways. How can we optimize millions of images to predict when the next great solar flare will occur? Will that give us enough time to protect the satellites that connect us all and avoid a power grid shutdown? Questions that are becoming increasingly more urgent. Can we generate hyper-accurate maps to identify a flood zone that will help people evacuate before the rains even start? As the climate changes, what can we do to better protect our planet and everyone on it? Scientists from all over the world have come together to find answers to these questions, and others like them. Digging into their data, breaking it apart, prying insight and inspiration and progress from it, hoping to solve some of humanity's biggest problems.
Mariam, have you noticed there was like a problem in the video and the sound at the beginning?
Yeah, the first part,
To
yes.
recast the video, but I think we had to send it a second time. So hello everyone and welcome to the next OnAir extended podcast. We are GDG Casablanca organizers and we are all ready and really excited to be with you all here. So when I learned about the G Suite the last 3 years, I was immediately impressed by the products. Like billions of people choose these apps to manage their work lives and personal lives in general. A testament to how simple and useful these products are. Back then, I couldn't have imagined how critical G Suite and it would become in supporting a sudden and a global transition to remote work and life.
That's true because that changed a lot of life. COVID-19 has a surprisingly swift impact, and we are all had to make a very big adjustment. At work, everything became virtual, meetings, documents, even hallway conversation and jokes. And work wasn't the only thing that it has changed. Most of us try to keep some separation between our works and our personal life, but COVID-19 was not having all of that boundaries. For me, suddenly my whole team was working from home, spending all day video meeting while the kids would burst demanding popsicles and food or helping with their math homeworks, my brothers and sisters, so on. Now, several months in, a lot has changed. Schools are figuring out remote learning models. Doctors are actually using Google Meet to consult with patient video call, which was not the case, I was saying, months ago. Parents are getting really creative and frankly exhausted at finding ways to engage with and amuse their kids. And even our pets cats has now joined our work call, which to be honest I cannot complain about. But the thing is, this is not a short-term situation. We believe COVID-19 is the catalyst that will accelerate the transition to more flexible and distributed teams.
Yeah, honestly, we're seeing this trend clearly from both employers and employees. Like 80% of the workforce that would really like the flexibility to work from home, at least some of the time. And 74% of CFOs intend to shift some employees to work from home permanently after the COVID-19. And it's not just about individuals seeking greater flexibility in their work. By transitioning employee to remote or flexible work models, businesses can save money, reduce their carbon footprint, and even repurpose office space for other issues. Of course, every business is different, and not all jobs can be done remotely. So there is that.
Yeah, it is true. But I think by giving employees like the flexibility to not just and when and where they work, but also the tools that they use and how they use them, will actually help them like prepare them for the future. Like their job is not for now; they are thinking about the next job, the next requirement, and so on. So that was why G Suite was in, because G Suite was engineered for flexibility from the beginning. So this product have always been accessible with just an internet connection. So I think
Yeah,
that is innovating.
yeah, you've never really ever been tied to an office. Like being cloud native gave Google the right foundation to innovate. They pioneered the real time collaboration with the Google Docs sheet and slides, and then they added an enterprise great chat. So there is like chat, voice, and video along with a host of helpful features that enable teams to work together productively and securely across the regions and time zones and stuff. So it's why more than 6 million businesses have chosen the G Suite, and as they have really locked on it. They choose it as their partner in digital transformation, and we are now relying on this product to help them and help us navigate this current challenge.
Well, actually, the reality is that many companies, I will say the example here, are still using legacy technology. So it's made it a bit harder to adjust them remote work. So they kept scrambling to keep their team connected, much less collaborating, but the way they used to when they were all together in the same office. But what we've been seeing right now, as we are understanding the pandemic impact, we realize that there are so much that we can do. So the focus was on two critical objectives. So our focus can only be on two critical objectives. The first one would be to deliver meaningful product innovation to this customer that will help the team stay productive, which is the first thing that the company would like,
Yeah.
in engaging between the teamworks, so on. So each department, each like manager, their employees, and so on. But with also working remotely. in quickly to do it quickly. Second of all, to make it incredibly easy for the team that weren't already on G Suite to access these tools in flexible way. So in this short time, they should understand it. They should like it should be a smooth transition. So that's what G Suite is for. So like I have to say, I'm really, really, really proud to work with GTG Casablanca teams that was immediately rallied behind this pandemic and tried their best to have these two goals, even if they navigate their own challenges at home. So I would love to ask like the people that are listening. So since the pandemic began, like we make sure as a GDG teams and organizer to deliver as much as content as we can. So content that focus on maybe learning new stuff, learning backend, front end, sharing so on, having experts. So I would love for the listeners just to like to tell us in the comments what they like, what they didn't like, what they want more, other languages, anything. We are open to suggestions, and we actually love them, and it makes us like productive and so on. Yeah, everything good.
Okay. Okay. So let's go back to our podcast and let's not drift back. So
Yeah,
I've
sorry.
noticed that the G Suite team has started where they saw the greatest need, and it was like video meetings. The first thing they did was accelerate their plan to make sure their teams had everything they need to stay connected by delivering differentiated features like noise cancellation and low light mode in the Google Meet. They also made advanced features like large meetings, live streamings, and meeting recording available for free to all the G Suite users, customers. For now, I think it's free to until October. And yeah, they tried a lot of things.
Yeah, I think it's intellectual indeed. So as in actually from in May, they made Google Meet available and free for everyone, so that anyone with an email address can access the same secure, reliable video meeting they provided for their enterprise customers. So businesses can use it, school can use it, and everything. It's available right now. So this resulted in a growth that has been incredible. So Google Meet users have increased like 30 times since January, and users are now spending more than 3 billion minutes together in video calls every day. In fact, if you're not using Google Meet yet, you should totally go to Google to meet.google.com or download the application, the mobile app, and try it out. I recommend it.
Yeah, okay, okay. But remote collaboration takes more than just meetings. Well, I think they have looked for other ways to make it incredibly easy for organization to get the border benefits. Um, the benefits, like in May, they introduced a brand new offering called G Suite Essentials, if I recall, and this G Suite Essentials includes the Google Meet, uh, for video conferencing, of course, and the Google Drive, Docs, Sheets, and Slides for like the modern collaboration and things. So can like old companies that still use um, outdated software, they can just dive in and use it. Plus, they added security and management tools that would satisfy any IT director or administrator, I think.
Yeah, especially security because it's something that been brought up in the pandemic while using virtual because not everyone likes virtual stuff. So this is something that is really interesting. Plus, you can actually adopt it as a team leader, individual, or IT professionals, like simply, and it works with Microsoft Office and Office 365. So you can continue using your existing email or calendar tool, a schedule call with Google Meet, and also you can share the file from Google Drive and take the advantages of their modern approach to collaboration. So you don't even have to convert your Word, Excel, PowerPoint files because you can easily edit them and save the native file types without leaving G Suite. So it's made it super easy. So you don't have to like to do that drastic change. So it can work with your schedule seamlessly without no problem.
Yeah, I think this level of interoperability will make it easy for users to start adopting G Suite, even while working with users that are still using Microsoft at the same time. So uh, this pack that they named Essentials, uh, it it has like billions of people already, and they already know and love. They know how to use it. So it is familiar and intuitive, and it's easy to use, and it comes with the specific business features that are only available in the professional editions for the G Suite. And I think it's a great way for companies to start realizing the unique benefits of this thing that we are talking about, the G Suite, without having to move off their like existing tools. You can still use all your outdated tools. You can use all everything you already had using, have been using, and they just made it completely free until October. So take the chance, try it out, and if you like it, then you can go for the premium. Else you can just go back to your standard things.
I think the investment that the company would be having in G Suite would be a great one, because
Yeah,
it's seamlessly, it's easy. You don't have to change anything, so you don't have to spend much time configuring so on. So it's interesting.
yeah, I think so. So let's go to a video we have prepared.
Yes.
The sun gives us life. Without the sun, life on this planet would not be possible. We spent so much time looking really far into the universe. But our own star, the sun, is right there, and there's so many things that we don't understand about it. The sun is incredibly dynamic, and there's a number of processes that go on the surface. And some of them can lead to particles being ejected into space. And when these particles travel to us, they can interfere with communication systems, with GPS systems. They can destroy our satellites and our power grids, which means we're going to be sitting in the dark. What my team is trying to do is, we have images of the magnetic field of the sun for the past 50 years. The images that we have from back in the day are significantly lower resolution than the images that we capture today. And we're trying to use machine learning to increase the resolution and make them higher quality, to understand how we might be able to tie that in with effects that we're seeing here on Earth. We have millions of images that we're sending through a network that we're trying to get something useful out of. Without Google Cloud and Intel CPUs, none of this would have really been possible, because we wouldn't have had the computing power, and we probably would have waited for a whole year for our models to train. But instead, with one click of a button, it takes us 5 minutes, and then our model is done. In a world where we're so reliant on satellites for communication systems, but also we need to understand exactly what makes us vulnerable. I really hope that in the future, scientists will make more use of machine learning to have computer scientists and natural scientists working together on solving the world's biggest problems.
So let's try and resume what we've been talking about, because I think we've gone too far into detail in this podcast. So we will try and resume everything in as fast as we can, so we can finish early. So like we've said, remote work has never been more important, and this week's G Suite announcements focused on how Google is supporting people and organization working together even while apart. Last week they have announced a better home for work inside G Suite.
And they also shared a number of stories about organization using G Suite to collaborate, but how they serve their own customers and support their communities.
Also, they announced new G Suite security updates in Gmail, Meet, and Chat, as well as new ways to help IT admins easily manage and secure devices in the admin console.
They also shared more on new G Suite developer platform features and tools.
Yes, and they made AppSheet, Google Cloud, no-code app development solution available at no charge to G Suite Essentials customer through September 30.
I
I
think
think that's all.
yes.
And thank you everyone for watching this podcast. And I hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for the next one.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'd like to thank everyone in the comments, and we'd love to feed your feedback. And also, do not forget that next week is about infrastructures. So make sure to tune in for the keynotes and the sessions, and also make sure to tune in for our next podcast. Also, make sure to follow us on all social media platforms to know the dates and the changes. And that's it. I think. Thank you so much.
Thank you.